Today we get to explore one of my favorite ideas, and that is the circle. We're going to look at how these symbols impact us and play in our world and in our lives. So I hope you stick with us here today on Circle Theory. Thanks for sticking with us. I always appreciate it. If you enjoy this content, please like, subscribe, share, leave a comment, follow us on Twitter. All of that helps so much. So thank you for being a part of. Let's hop in. Nowadays, more and more people, especially those who live in large cities, suffer from a terrible emptiness and boredom as if they are waiting for something that never arrives. Movies and television, spectator sports, and political excitements may divert them for a while, but again and again, exhausted and disenchanted, they have to return to the wasteland of their own lives. This is the major critique by Thoreau, by the way, right? I mean, this is what he's railing against. But we tend to have short attention spans as humans. We look for distractions. Got a new hobby like every 2 weeks, right? The ways to disengage from our existence rather than truly living, a very existential idea. But no matter what, we have to return. We have to deal with us. So this is where our ideas begin. Let's continue. But the Jungians say, as Jaffe observed later in this book, roundness, the mandala motif, generally symbolizes a natural wholeness, whereas a quadrangular formation represents the realization of this in consciousness. In the dream, the square disc and the round table meet, and this conscious realization of the center is at hand. The round table, incidentally, is a well-known symbol of wholeness and plays a role in mythology. For instance, King Arthur's round table, which itself is an image derived from the table of the Last Supper. Right? I mean, we see these images play out all the time in myths. Just ask Campbell, right? So what we're saying here is just in general, we're looking at the circle, the roundness and completeness. Remember, what we know here is consciousness is squared, that it doesn't quite have that. This is something that the Jungians are arguing is completeness is impossible from a pure rational state. So they note a few ideas, right? Talking about Dr. M.L. von Franz has experimented with the circle or sphere as a symbol of the self. It expresses the totality of the psyche in all aspects, including the relationship between man and the whole of nature. Whether the symbol of the circle appears in primitive sun worship or in modern religion, in myths or dreams, in mandalas drawn by Tibetan monks, in the ground plans of cities, or in the spherical concepts of early astronomers, it is always points to the single most vital aspect of life, its ultimate wholeness. You know, this is the Ouroboros, the constantly moving circle in which things are brought together in death and rebirth, that the most important things always follow this cycle. This is how we map out our civilizations. This is why we worship the sun. This is why we see circles used a lot in religious imagery. It represents completion. And so what the artists, like the alchemists, probably did, not realizing, was the psychological fact that they were projecting a part of their psyche onto the matter of inanimate objects, right? Another Rollo May idea, but hence the mysterious animation we've been talking about. They've entered into such things and the great value attached even to rubbish. They projected their own darkness, their earthly shadow, a psychic content, and their time had lost and abandoned. And so in the creation of symbols and finding wholeness, what we are doing is breaking the bounds of the square. We have connected with the anima, as we've discussed. We have confronted the shadow. We have broken through the self to be able to connect with the unconscious and find wholeness by representing and creating symbols. This is why it's so important that you're creative. In whatever way you are, right? Whether that's writing or drawing or making YouTube videos or lecturing or talking or building cars. Your creativity is important. And we must go through Take your spirit, the representation through the symbol, and break through that so that we can reach the circle. I hope you enjoyed this idea. If you did, please like, subscribe, share, follow us on Twitter, and I hope to get you next time here on Circle Theory.
Just to flex on them, we ain't really got it like ya. I'm the type of motherfucker that'll check the check, do the math,